Oh guys, sorry, may pahabol pala yung kila Ornoza, nakalimutan ko. Okay, so yung kila Amnolite naman. Kung alam ba't naiwan to, di ko siguro na-download. Okay, let's go.
Our oral research presentation.
Hi, I'm Amnolite. I'm Ornoza.
Rogers Arbestido.
And Tom
Wait lang. Bakit parang ano yata, bagong gising? Bagong gising kayo?
Henson, EGOT, BSCE,
BSCE
BSCE
third
third
year
year, Block
Block
1.
1.
Clean fresh water is essential to healthy human life. However, 1.1 billion people,
I think, however, is not the correct, ano no, correct word. In contrast kasi ang however eh. No? So,
clean fresh water is essential to healthy human life.
okay, yung first sentence nyo kasi is clean water is essential to human life. No, that's your first sentence. So if you're going to use however, it means that you're going to contradict the first sentence. Okay, so let's see kung tama yung second sentence.
However, 1.1 billion
So, however, no, um, you said 1.1 billion people lacks access, lack access to clean water. I think however is not the correct terminology, no? Parang, so if you're going to, instead of using however, you say clean water is essential to human life. And yet, 1.1 billion people lack access to clean water. So you don't say however, it's and yet na. So when you say and yet kasi, it means okay. And still, no. Okay. So parang importante ang tubig sa tao. Subalit, parang ganun. O parang ganun pa man, no? Parang ganun. Ganun pa man, meron pa ring taong hindi wala pa rin access sa clean water. So, however is not the correct term, no? So, you have to be very careful. Okay, sorry, doon may dumating. And yet, no? And yet, 1.1 billion people lack access to clean water.
people lack access to clean water and 2.7 billion experience water scarcity for at least 1 month a year.
I think yung ano nyo, I think yung narrative nyo or yung storyline nyo nakuha nyo sa TEDx. I have nothing against that, pero it shows that you still are short in in your own idea or creativity. Okay, so I really suggest that you have your own storyline, the way you present, no, have your own signature presentation or storyline. So I'm not against this one, um, but for starters, I think it's okay. However, no, however, starters, di ba ano, di ba na ano na kayo, na batak na kayo sa high school nyo. So parang, I don't know, no. How do you present in your high school, by the way? So parang, nagiging questionable tuloy sa akin.
Roughly two
Never mind.
thirds of the world's population could be affected by water scarcity by 2025.
Oh, by the way, for your group, no, the most, I think the most powerful data that you can use here to justify your argument is that only 1% of the world's water is available is is available for consumption. Is 1% of the world's water is clean enough for human consumption. Only 1%, because the majority of the percentages is the sea, no, sa dagat. Majority of the world's water is found in the oceans, and then followed by um yung sa mga lakes, ganun, lakes and seas and lakes and rivers, though they are usable water, but but as of now, no, hindi na siya safe for drinking due to pollution and other factors. So 1% na lang. Though the 1% is small in in our perception, 1% of of a trillion liters is still big, no? If you're going to imagine that one.
In order to cope with the dearth, water conservation by finding alternative water sources is crucially needed.
Hindi yata appropriate yung slide.
Water can be alternatively harvested from atmosphere and wastewater on land.
Ano sabi nyo?
By finding alternative water sources is crucially needed. Water can be alternatively harvested from atmosphere and
I think that's yeah, I think the right thing to say is that water can be extracted or alternatively from the atmosphere or air, no? But you don't say wastewater on land because you cannot extract water from wastewater because it's dirty. You have to process it. So it's not so you can't compare those two things the same way, no? Because it's atmosphere, you can just simply capture it and then minimal process lang for treatment. However, wastewater ay hindi ganun kasimple. It's a complicated process. So you cannot compare those two things, no. You can simply extract water from wastewater, but you can get water from wastewater but not simply directly extract from it, okay? Because it needs a lot of complicated processes. So do not use the same things just like that. So uh, I think it is kind of misleading, no?
wastewater on land. Many water harvesting technologies have been prevailing.
So what do you mean water harvesting technologies? Are you pertaining to water harvesting technologies available for the atmosphere? Mm, so be specific.
Fog harvesting is one of them.
So see, so you break the transition a little bit. You say you say that there are many water harvesting technologies available. Yeah, but what do you mean? I mean, what kind of water harvesting technology are you pertaining to the atmosphere? I think the most appropriate thing for you to do is to directly state in in the beginning that water can be alternatively harvested from the atmosphere. You don't have to include wastewater there kasi parang naging okay, bakit may wastewater tapos ang pinag-uusapan lang pala dito ay atmosphere. So, it's kinda parang naliligaw yung wastewater doon. Okay? So, we have to remove that one. So, since you're talking about, in transition kasi is important. So, water can be alternatively harvested from the atmosphere and there are a lot of technologies available to do just that. And one of the most prominent or the most successful is that using, harvesters
Of
in
them.
fog. So that's just this one, like just exactly this one. No. So that's the storyline that they're trying to create.
Fog harvesting provides clean water by capturing wind-driven fog
See, it's a good one.
with mesh net balanced and spread out between two posts, and then captured water vapors are collected through underlying gutter into the container.
Conventionally, the system is capturing fog rather slowly with respect to seasonal changes, and the fog phenomenon is not regular from day to day. To countervail the premise, a suction mechanism will be implemented. Proposed suction fund, powered by solar energy, will be added to the system.
We came up with a proposal with the idea of
Um,
being able to
hindi yata maganda yung ano nyo, yung naging takbo. Parang, I feel like I'm moving from one, one movie to another. No, parang ganun. So, I think the the way that the images are presented, no, parang iba-iba. So, it's kind of difficult for me to, they're not consistent, no. They're inconsistency. I think may hit kayo dun sa visuals. Yeah, inconsistency. So the problem is that conventional system, what do you mean system? You must define what kind of system. Okay. So is that the conventional this one, the fog harvesting? So you have to state it direct, you have to state it explicitly. Okay? Lagay nyo na agad. Conventionally uh, okay. So wag ganito. So the problem is that this kind of device or this kind of system uh, captures fog rather slowly with respect to seasonal changes, and fog phenomenon is not regular from day to day. So you mean there's a problem with the fog capturing technique, okay? So or limitation, not the problem, no limitation. Fog capture technique. Okay. So you're going to do five whys here. Okay. So why is it limited? Okay. So the question one is why is it limited? So if you're going to answer that question with because of seasonal changes and fog phenomenon is not regular from day to day, then alam niyo na kung anong mangyayari sa takbo ng flow, di ba? Oh, so ito yung tanong, talaga. Ito yung tamang tanong ng paggawa ng 5Y. Why why is it um why is it unable to why is it unable to capture, no? Why is it unable to capture uh, enough fog during seasonal changes? Okay, so why is it unable to capture enough fog during the seasonal changes? So that's the first question. That's the first why. So what will be the answer for that first why? No? So what do you think is the answer for that first why? So you have to thread the questions very carefully in order for you to arrive to the root cause of the problem. Okay, because the root cause of the problem will be the highlight of your topic. So that root cause will be addressed by your solution. So doon ko sinasabi yung tinatawag na uh, compatible yung problem at solution. Kasi if in order for you to, for example, ang problem mo lang naman ay for example, ang problem mo is high gasoline. So the solution for that one is to find an alternative for gasoline or to to mataas sa gasolina, to find other cheaper sources of your gasoline. So that's a problem. The solution to the problem is not to reduce your consumption of the gasoline because you need the gasoline. I mean, other example would be, for example, your computer is slow, no? So you have to ask yourself, why is your computer slow? I mean, what makes your computer slow? No? So you have to find all the factors. Is it the computer? Is it the processor itself? Is it the RAM? Is it the what? You have to find the root cause of the problem. So nalaman mo na ang root cause of the problem is yung RAM ng computer mo is maliit lang. So the solution is to increase the RAM. Okay? So that's the logical problem and solution approach. So doon ko binibase yung ginagawa nyo. So dapat compatible yung problem sa solution. So the question again, going back here, why is it unable to capture enough fog during seasonal changes? So I don't know, maybe it's probably because the the net is small, right? Maybe it's small, you know. I don't know. So that's why you have to do the literature review. That's why you have to do investigation and establish your review of related literature and study first, because that's where you're going to find the root cause of the problem. So why is it unable to capture enough fog during seasonal changes? So the reason for that is because probably not probably kasi hindi ko kasi alam hindi ko pa na binabasa. But I can think of the reason for that is because the net is not enough, no, it's not large enough to capture the fog. I think that's the most logical reason why. Okay, so then the following questions is is it small, is it big, is it small? So how do you design it? So for example, question number 2 is, again, the answer for the question 1 is that it's it's uh it's not big enough, no? It's not big enough, no? So question number 2, why is it big enough? Why is it not big? Okay, parang mali yung sagot. Why is it able to capture why is it it's not big enough, no? So why is it not big enough. So, maraming follow-up questions pala dito. Actually, it's kind of complicated, no? It's kind of complicated. So, the background or the background review will really help you. So, I think this needs a lot of research. So, hindi ko magawa agad. So, tuloy lang natin. But what I'm expecting in this video to see is ano yung ano yung magiging innovation nyo sa existing na fog capture. So, yun ang hanapin ko.
Fog rather slowly with respect to seasonal changes and the fog phenomenon is not regular from day to day. To countervail the premise, a suction mechanism will be implemented.
Suction.
Proposed suction fan powered by solar energy will be added to the system.
We came up with a proposal with the
I rather have you use a white background, no? Para para hindi ganito ang labas. Gumamit na lang kayo ng white background.
idea of being able to gather additional vapors into the net and
Okay, I get it. So, the concept that you're trying to tell us is that in order for you to maximize the existing design, the existing fog capturing technology is to blow air, no? Is to blow more air on that because the problem is that it's stationary. So it only relies on the air that is moving, no? So that's the idea, no? So that's the problem that you're trying. That's not the problem. It's a limitation that you're trying to tell us. So the limitation is that the net is stationary and it only relies on the wind that's entering the nets. So, the solution would that be, of course, i-increase mo yung airflow, no? Increase the airflow in order for it to receive more air. Well, that's a very good one, actually. Hmm, good, 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 very good. So, okay, may sense, no? May sense ang problem and solution. So, yeah, it does make sense. Okay, continue.
enabling the
Good job.
speed of collection for a much faster water capturing mechanism. The fan will be powered with solar to promote green agenda, and the most prominent mechanism to do such is suction to manipulate the movement of wind.
Even though this is a very good solution, no, I think there are complexities in this kind of approach. I think there is. One is how big is the fan? How big is the fan? I think that's a technical challenge. How big is the fan? You see, because if you were to think now, if you're going to think, the bigger the fan, the stronger the wind is. However, if you're going to put that big electric fan outside, no, outside the open air, the wind coming from the wind coming from the surrounding is stronger. So how effective is your blower? I think you will require a huge, big blower for that one, and that's a technical challenge. Yeah, that's a technical challenge, and I think that's the reason why. I think that technical challenge is the reason why we haven't we haven't seen anything like this yet. Makes sense because the reason why there is no existing solution for that kind of problem is because it is technically a challenge because setting up big fans requires a huge amounts of power. Okay, huge amounts of power, and for that to work, it requires a lot of solar panels. So so it will come to a conclusion where we're in. You need to have a huge amount of solar power, solar panels, and baka kasi lumabas na it will make more sense if you're going to extract water underground instead. Mas marami ka pang ma-extract na tubig kapag nagpa-under ka na lang ng solar PV water pump. Baka yun ang mangyari eh. Kasi you need to power a huge ventilation system in order for the air to move, no? To move dun sa nets. And that huge turbines or huge fans requires huge amounts of energy. Hindi lang to simpleng electric fan lang. Because if you're going to put this outside, no? Yung strength ng air mo, yung strength ng fan mo will be diffused. So in order for that to be overcome, you have to set up a very huge fan. Okay, a huge fan requires a lot of power. I hope that makes sense to you now. So this is a this poses a very technical challenge, and I think that will limit the viability of your solution. So that is the reason why walang solution na ganito na nag-exist, because it will make more sense if you're going to extract water directly from the ground instead of blowing, no? Yeah. But of course, that's a different scenario kapag pumunta ka sa lugar na wala ka talagang ma-extract na tubig sa ilalim ng lupa, no? Because dun lang magbabagay itong problem solution nyo. Dun lang babagay yung solution nyo. Yeah. Hindi siya babagay dito sa atin sa Pilipinas because meron tayong underground water reserve. So so if you're going to put this up, hindi naman kasi malaki yung air, hindi naman kasi mataas yung yung relative air humidity natin dito sa Pilipinas eh. Hindi naman ganoon kataas eh. It will mas mataas kasi yung makukuha natin underground than in the air itself. So yun yung nakikita kong technical challenge dito. And I think that is the same reason why we haven't seen such kind of technology that exists yet, that uses the combination of a wind blower fan to the to this fog capturing device. No, I think that's my take, no. So sana ipag-isipan niyo na mabuti yung mga pinagsasabi ko, kasi nakita ko na agad kung ano yung magiging butas at ano yung butas.
Objective of the study. The addition of solar suction fan to the system
The limitation
It's not actually a suction, it's gonna be a blower fan.
of the study processes.
And besides this kind of problem is very specific, no. Yeah, it's very niche kasi said niche is very particular lang eh. You cannot stop you cannot simply put this up here in Najongan because the air humidity here is very low. It's there's no fog here. Okay? So, yung mga maraming fog na area is yung mga malalamig, like for example, Baguio and Tagaytay. But they don't have a problem with water. They can simply extract water from. Oh yeah, I think so. Oh, that's a very good one. I think. What do they have a problem with water in Tagaytay and Baguio? Do they? I don't know. I think in Baguio there's no problem with water because they have huge rivers for that one. So I think that's my take, no. I think the unclear goal, no, technical issue with the solution. So visual wise, okay lang. Okay. The problem is um problem is not pressing in the Philippines. Problem is very niche, no? Very specific lang. So not for everybody. Okay. 9. Solution is complex. Is uh, okay. So yeah. So I think though in terms of visuals, I think I'd say that the visual is maximum is 30%. I think the visual will just be 20 because most of your visuals are really from not really of your own making really. So the problem is is okay, but it's not really but it's very niche, so maximum of 30. I'm going only going to give this around I'm going only going to give this 20% because it's very not really 20 but 20 lang. So because it's niche, yeah, the problem exists but it's niche. Okay, it's very clever actually solution. So the content, so the content itself, with the transition it's kind of rough but okay. Okay, so gonna give it at 5%. And then in transitions, yeah, okay, so small issues with arguments, so just small issues, no, so may ano naman, may sense naman talaga, but yeah. So I think for the content itself, maximum is 40%. The content will be, I'd say the content is 25% properly cited, so I say it's 30%. So 40, yeah, so it's 20, 40 plus 30, 70. Yeah, so I think it's okay, really really okay. Yun nga lang, there will be a technical issue. Okay siya eh, kasi it does make sense really, but it does make sense. However, it's not technically possible because of the problem that I told you, because of technical issues that I told you. But it will work. It will work, but not for everybody. It will work at very small areas, like yung mga talagang walang underground water reserves. So 40 plus 30 is 70. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yun nga lang, my take is please next time, no, have your own creativity. Do not, do not, do not as much as possible. Do not, no, do not, do not make it a habit na halos lahat ng content na presentation mo is from other works. Do not, no, do not. So have your own creativity for that one. So yeah. So I think that's it.